I'm live. So, I thought rather than just doing a conventional Q&A, I might as well beat up some people as well. So let's do it. This isn't going to be like a regular thing. This is literally just going to be something completely weird. So let's let this load. Alright. Got a few folks watching already, that's alright. So we got Ahmad, how are you, man? Always first. I'm going to have to send you a free t-shirt, I reckon. Showman Blues. Dave Wolf, Isaac. So basically what I'm thinking of doing is like mixing up my channel even more. And I'm not going to start a gaming channel on here, so don't stress about that. It's not going to be that. I have a Shane Retro Gamer one already, which I don't do a lot on, but I thought I could take some Q&A while I do different stuff, because, you know, sitting in front of the Mac with a heater behind me is kind of boring. So I thought, why not? I love 90s games. I grew up playing these things, and I thought to myself, you know what? Time to mix things up. And if everybody hates this, I'll never do it again, I promise. But yeah, I've got a few ideas just to mix things up. I did a stream last night actually after the one I did with the guys on Tone King's channel, on my other channel. And I thought, I wonder if this would work. So it's going to be really weird. For those who aren't into gaming, I apologize. But the point is, like, I can still see the comments. They're right here. And I'm going to play and talk, so you can at least watch something else, and, you know, just, who knows. So, yeah, this is like my favorite beat-em-up ever, for those who know me well. This is Streets of Rage for the Sega Mega Drive, or the Genesis, as it's known in North America. And I always go Blaze, but I'm going to go Axel today, just because. So we got folks from David Davis. It's a bit of a tongue twister. From Louisville, Kentucky. How are you, man? Mario says, what the F am I watching? Exactly. So, I thought I'd do a guitar Q&A. Like how I overlaid the Strat. I'm like, you know what? That makes it a guitar stream now. So, I thought, why not? I don't know, guys. I'm getting a little bit, like, overdoing sitting in front of a Mac. Or in front of a computer and just doing it the old conventional way and the boring way, or sitting here with a guitar, which I love playing guitar, but I thought, you know what, just for today, let's mix things up. So I do have an eye on the chat, so if anyone has any questions about anything, gaming or guitar, I'm more than happy to answer. I hope thanks for all the support on the Guitar Search Saturdays thing too. It went over really well. That video's been really popular, so thanks heaps, guys. If I wanted to watch shitty gaming, I would just watch my little cousin. Hey, I'm good at this game, so we wait and see. The idea today is we're going to beat this game. That's the plan. I haven't beaten this game since I was a kid, but I thought, you know what, let's play it and see how we go. Yeah, I don't know. I grew up in an arcade when I was a kid, so the family sort of owned one. So I don't do this very often. I play guitar 99% more than I would play games. It probably doesn't show, but yeah, it's just one of those things. I thought I'd mix it up. Lando says he was a huge gamer growing up, being the same age, we played most of the same stuff. And that's the thing, like looking at my demographics, I reckon a lot of guys would have been playing this, or the Super Nintendo, or the NES, or... Like, I started, my first console that I could change games on was the Atari 2600. But I got that right around when the NES came out, so I kind of didn't do the right thing when I purchased that, but... Anyway... Yeah, it was, this guy feels really clunky. I'm so used to Blaze. That's alright. Anyway, I'll just knee a few guys and we'll take some questions. Oh. Alright, let's just do that. What did I think of last night's summit? So, it was alright. It was different. I think what we need to start doing more is take some questions at the start and also at the end. I think that's a good thing, and we need to, I think whoever hosts it, Like, I think I might have done it, but I think we need to sort of, like, mention the question before we answer it as well, so people who missed the stream can actually watch it back and understand what's going on. But I enjoyed it. It was good chatting with Jeff. He seems like a really smart and really nice guy, which was good. And, yeah. It's always good chatting with Philip and Steve. I like Steve, and I think he's just a pretty charismatic sort of dude. He's a good guy. He just actually had a live stream now. I was on that for about an hour, on and off. I had a couple of problems with my YouTube channel. So, Lando says, what's the best pedal for a Super Nintendo? It's, see if we can beat this guy without dying. What do you reckon? Can it be done? I reckon it can. He's almost dead. And once I knock him out, I'll check the chat. Oh no! There we go. Shane sucks. You know what? I'll tell you what, it's really hard to talk and play, but I'm going to try my best and see if I can get this done. What is this double dragon kung fu crap? So this is Streets of Rage. This is the first official guitar gaming stream, and the last official one as well. So last night I did for those who have just joined, we've got a few folks watching now. I streamed a video like this on my other channel, and I thought to myself, a lot of the guitar guys joined in. So I thought, why not just do one on this channel just to mix it up, and I'll take some questions. So that's the plan, just to mix it up, and you know, there's only so much of the same stuff people want to watch, and I thought, you know what, let's add some stupidity into the channel. So that's the plan. Don't worry folks, it won't be a regular thing, it's just something a little different. And I actually have a couple of other little ideas I want to try. Hopefully the audio and sound is all good. Oh, the audio and sound. The audio and video is all good. I think I played this on Commodore 64. Showman Blue says, saw you there, you guys are cutting into my practice time. So the good thing about live streams, my opinion on them is, like, when I sit down and watch them, I usually have a guitar, you know, pretty much right near where I am. So that's what I like to just noodle around while I'm doing that. Todd says, am I on the right channel? Yeah, I know, it's kind of weird. Alright, I think I missed a question up here about relic guitars. I'm making a Partsocaster. Should I use relic parts or new? Look, it just depends on what you're really going for, you know? Like, you can, if you like the relic thing, go for that, but you can probably buy some used parts pretty cheap. I think that's a way you could go, but look, if you're going to relic the body and all that kind of stuff, maybe go the whole hog, because there's nothing more weird on an electric guitar, in my opinion, than having, like, a relic piece of wood and all the paint and all that kind of stuff, but then having brand new plastic and parts. I think that looks kind of weird. So, I don't know, just go for the best thing that suits your look. You know, if you want a guitar that looks old, then do the relic thing. But if you, yeah, I don't know. I think it's unnecessary. You know, relics isn't really. Oh damn! Isn't something that I normally really gravitate to a whole lot. But some of them look great. So just keep consistent. Either if you're not going to relic the body, then don't relic. You know, don't buy relic parts. I think that would look kind of weird. Rather be watching hummingbirds, but whatever. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I just thought I'd fire this up and mix things up. So, if people hate it, well, it is all good. It will only be a one-off. I figure, like I said, looking at my demographics, I reckon a lot of guitar players played games over the years. I just have a feeling that's the case. Because when I stream on my other channel, guitar players join in, which is kind of unusual, unless they just like watching my videos. I don't know, it could be that too, but I thought I'd go some 90s beat 'em up action, so play some Streets of Rage. I love this game. This is one of the, if you've played Final Fight, this is essentially what Sega came up with to sort of, you know, battle that game, I guess. That's the only way I can put it. Oh, wow. Sorry, guys. The chat has just updated here. Wow. Okay. I must have a bit of lag because there's lots of stuff. Am I guitared out? No, I'm going to play tonight. But the thing is, I just thought I don't know, it's more like just doing the live stream, just sitting in front of a computer is kind of boring. See, guys like Steve have got it sorted out. He sits there with his guitar and he's got all the sound sorted out and all that, and that's really cool. But yeah, I just thought, you know what, I already had all this hooked up. Why not give it a go? So, John says we must be close in age. Yeah, I reckon. Well, I just turned 38 less than a month ago. So I am getting old now. Well, not that old, but anyway. What's the longest break you've had from playing guitar? I had 8 weeks. Well, actually, I played guitar once in that time, but I had roughly 6 to 8 weeks off. While I was away once, while I was traveling. But I also had time away from the guitar. Like, recently, maybe a few months, I still made demos, but I was kind of like not really enjoying playing as much. I go through these phases where I get really bored with what I'm hearing, or I'm getting really bored with what I'm listening to, which is probably the big part of like wanting to learn and get better and all that kind of stuff. Once you get really sick of your playing, at least for me, I kind of just go, I've had enough for a while, and I don't really pursue gigs, or I took maybe 4 weeks off playing live at jams as well, even jam nights. You know, someone once said to me, if you're not enjoying playing at a jam night, if the jams are half decent, then you're not enjoying playing guitar. It shouldn't just be about gigs, you know, and I reckon that's true. So, yeah, I have a good probably 4 weeks off a year where I don't really play much. I might pick it up once a week, but I'm not really improving or working on anything productively. I'm literally just picking it up just because I'm sort of like, I better just pick it up. The love for it will come back. So occasionally I do get sick of playing. There's no doubt about it. Krellbar says, I was joking about doing a live show right after Pixies, but here you are. Yeah. Showman says, I think trying different things is good. Variety should help the channel. Well, that's the other thing, man. Like, you know, how many... I'm so sick of doing demos of pedals, on the most part. Like, you know, I don't show that, but I guess over time, you know, you do hundreds of them, and they're just not... You can make them creative, but the process is the same. Like, that's why I like the live streams, because they're sort of like in the moment, and you get interaction and all that kind of stuff. I think with just doing, you know, I don't know how some channels just do just only pedal demos. That would drive me bananas. So Jay Millard says, the new Guitar Search Saturday was great. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. That took a long time. It took, the second day was, it took probably about 10, 11 hours to edit that whole thing. And the thing is, like, I get mixed comments from, this guy's the hardest boss in my opinion. You gotta get him into this, once you get him, damn it. You gotta sort of get him, beat him, and then let go of him and grab him again, but he can be tricky. The thing with it is, with the Guitar Search Saturday thing is, like, they can either be really long or really short, and every time I make them short, people want them longer, and every time I make them long, someone says, oh, you made it too long. I'm like, really? But I think that those episodes just lend themselves to, if there's lots of good stuff, there'll be lots of good stuff to talk about. And I'd rather give people some information on the gear than just sort of walk around a store aimlessly. That, you know, that's kind of not very cool. Showman Blue says, yes, I'm kind of tired of pedals. Interaction is the key. Live summits are almost like having a guitar club. And it's the same for me, man, because like YouTube, I always try to give back and talk to people on comments and when I can and all that kind of stuff. So I make a big effort to talk to as many people. You know, I hate this guy. I usually go Blaze. as I can, but those things are kind of like, they're just fun. You know, you get to talk to people that you know are in similar sort of situation as yourself as a YouTuber, and you know, there's that common ground. It doesn't even matter like how good or bad each of us are on guitar. It's like we all have the same passion and hobby, and I think the differences in our playing is also a really good thing. You know, there's a lot of common ground there. I watched Pixie Lick's live stream today. You know, as much as he's a 80s, 70s, 80s rocker kind of guy, man, he plays some great blues licks in there too. So there's that common thread, you know. I think that's really great. Alright, I just got a vintage modified Strat for 180 bucks in Australia. What's your opinion on the vintage modified series versus the classic Vibe series? That's from Jay Millard. I haven't had a chance to actually play a lefty, but looking at them, they look fantastic. I don't even know if they make left-handed vintage modified ones, but they look really good. Yeah. John Anthus says, how often do I play live? So, I play live, and you're talking about guitar, not this. I play most Sunday nights, usually once every week or two, just depending on what's going on the weekends. I play, and that's just like a blues jam thing. I used to actually run that jam for a long time, but I just go up there to play now every now and then. And I play with my band once every 4 to 6 weeks, and that's enough for me. I don't really enjoy chasing gigs. I don't like dealing with venues anymore. They don't make any sense. You can have the place full and it just, people are dancing and having a good time, and you'll never hear back from them. It's like, great. Australia has this really bad mentality of like, the customer service here sucks a lot in a lot of different industries, but when it comes to venues, they're the worst. And they'll just not reply. They don't even take the time to say, look, thanks, but we're not interested. When I booked a whole lot of gigs in Michigan years ago that I was going to do over there, and a whole lot of places actually. And I heard back from every single venue I emailed. Yes or no. Like, that's the difference. So I'm kind of over sort of pushing shit uphill with venues. I just, you know, you got to be part of the clique here in this blues club thing that they got, which is a bunch of wankers who wear blues hats and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not interested in any of that. I've always been a big believer in doing stuff for myself, and you don't need that to, you know, I've always found venues I can play in and that, but it gets, the booking process is enough to make me not want to play anymore, because it gets old after a while. That's all I can say there. Alright, so Showman Blue says vintage modified is the best Squier I've ever played. There we go, cool stuff. Love the channel now that you're a big time YouTuber. I don't know if I am a big time YouTuber. Are you ever going to give us up? Are you ever going to let us down? The Rickroll thing, that's hilarious. I'm not a big time YouTuber. I guess my hits are pretty big. I get a lot of hits. Like, there's channels that have way more subscribers than me, and channels that are that have way more videos. Or maybe not way more videos, but they're growing fast. But they're like, don't even get a third of the amount of views I get. So I guess in terms of views, I was lucky because I got on YouTube pretty early on. A lot of my older videos get a lot of hits. I mean, a lot of my new ones do too, but I wouldn't consider myself a big time YouTuber. There's guys out there that are killing it, like absolutely killing it. They, you know, 10 million views a month, 5 million views a month, 1 million, and I've just made 1 million. Actually, it'd probably be a bit less this month, but last month I made 1 million views. That's as high as it's ever been for me. So, all right, so this guy's easy to beat. Let's. Rick Green says he just mentioned the Washington Post article. We actually spoke about that all day yesterday. So if you go over to the Tone Kings channel, you'll be able to check out the chat we had with all the other YouTubers as well. And a guy who owns a guitar company. So that'll give you a bit of a... That'll save me going back into that again, but I kind of think, like, you can't judge the death of the electric guitar on how retail stores are doing. I really think Facebook and all that has opened up a whole different second-hand buy, swap, trade, you know, market that's really changed. So, hey, Kenny B. Yeah, I know so many friends who just trade guitars on Facebook through local groups, and you can't do that on eBay. You can't do that on other. Well, you can do that on other forums, but we don't really have Craigslist here. It's not. No one knows what that is. I know what it is, but like most people have never heard of that before here. So we've got another alternative to that called Gumtree, where people will offer you trades, but Facebook is where I think, you know, for good or bad, that's where a lot of people are buying and selling guitars. And same with me. Like I sold my Gibson Gold Top on there. I sold it within a day. Oh, actually, it took a couple of days, but the guy wanted it. I unlisted it, and he paid for it like 2 days later. So that's one of those things. A lot of guys are shopping secondhand because they know they can get a bargain. And if these big companies are driving up the prices, then you'd be an idiot to go out and pay $3 grand for a Strat, you know, a new American standard Strat in Australia. It makes no sense when you can buy one for $1,000 second hand. So, or less sometimes, you know. Some people get desperate for cash. They want to sell stuff. So yeah, it's one of those things. I think people are wising up when people are smarter shoppers. I think a lot of people think people are stupid, but they'll generally look online and see what they can get. You know, I don't know many people that would just take the first thing they see unless they're buying it as a gift. So, and that does it. I don't know. I don't know if people buy gifts secondhand, but maybe they do. But in terms of retail stores, man, I don't think it's they're the only equation in the guitar industry dying. But you know, Fender and that lose money, then they have to do something to fix it, which might mean they make their guitars cheaper. I have no sympathy for them at all. I don't care if they go broke. Like, I like Fender gear, but you know, there's plenty of great alternatives out there too. I'm not as much of a brand snob now as I was probably a few years ago. Oh shit! I just killed myself. Alright, serious questions. Best solid state for blackface twin style clean tones. Best solid state amp for blackface twin tones. Wow. Solid state amps. The modeling amps count? You can get a Mustang 3. But I don't know. Like, some of those Champion amps kind of do that, but they sound really brittle. My suggestion would be get a good clean platform amp and run a pedal that emulates that, because I think you'll get a better sound using like there's plenty of blackface types of effects pedals out there. There just is. Wampler makes some. I demoed one from Crazy Tube Circuits. They make one as well. Put that in front of a Peavey Bandit, you'll get that sound. Peavey Bandit's like $150 in Australia secondhand. You get them for probably $60 in the US still, and just put a good pedal in front of it, and you'll get that tone. I wouldn't recommend. I don't know if there is a good amp that's solid state that nails that sound. I can't think of one other than like a Fender Mustang nails it. But if you're using pedals, then it's probably not the best choice. All right. All right. Hey Shane, can you scoot the game to the left and make your live shot a bit bigger? Yeah, I can do that. Sure. I wonder if I'm actually seeing this in. I think I know what I've done. I set the screens up without. Alright, yeah. I see what's going on. Sorry guys. I set this up with the wrong aspect ratio on my streaming software, so bear with me one sec. Alright. bit seen. So for those wondering what I'm using a program called OBS. It's called Open Broadcast Streamer. I use this, yeah, quite a lot for doing YouTube stuff. Let's make this a bit bigger. Now I think my webcam has a little bit of a glitch. But anyway, let's see if this works. See, there's the guitar part. Look at that. Done. That's what makes it a guitar stream. And just for those who are wondering, this is just for fun. This isn't a normal thing. So let's put that there. All right. Cool. I think we're good. Actually, give me one sec, guys. Oh, I need some caffeine. All right, let's do it. Would I consider getting a Glenn Burton guitar someday? Interesting. I don't know Glenn Burton guitars. I was thinking of someone else for a moment there when you said Glenn Burton, but no, I don't know those, but I can check them out. Look, I'm open to playing any sort of guitar, really. I don't really care what brand it is anymore. I almost feel like it's good to play something a little different, and that's what I was getting at on that live stream with the guys yesterday, was if these big companies die, man, maybe there'll be some originality instead of everyone trying to be like Stevie Ray or friggin', you know, insert name here. You know, like, I think it might be a good thing for music, or it might be a good thing for some other brands to sort of develop their own history a little bit. Because even companies like PRS don't really have any historical guitarists, you know, back in the day using. They're just newer guitar companies that don't have that history behind them. So it might be fun in 20 years to have these current guitar makers be the new Fenders. I don't know, I'm open to that. It doesn't really bother me too much. Alright. Okay, I can see the Gibson next to you. Oh, someone asked me why did I sell my G&L. I might have missed that question. I sold it because, I'll tell you why. When I played it, it always felt like, say that was how it normally feels when G's there. It felt like G was about here and the guitar was over there. So it didn't fit the same. Like, I'd play my normal tally and all my muscle memory would know where G is. When I played the G&L, it was almost like I had to reach further to get to the same spot, and I didn't like that feeling. I mean, tone-wise and build quality-wise and that, it was awesome. It just wasn't for me. So this particular guitar is a Blake Wright. I did a quick Facebook demo of this the other day. I haven't done the actual video for it yet. This is a sub $200 guitar. It's from the States. I don't think it's made there, but some parts of that are in here, I believe, are US made, or he might just tweak them or something. But it's got some good P90 pickups, and yeah, I don't know. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. I might be playing tonight, so I'll probably take it up and give it a bash. Alright, yeah, sorry about the screens. For some reason I had, oh, jeez. Oh, this guy's died by the little guy. That's embarrassing. You gotta kind of dodge this dude a bit. Otherwise, oh, what? How did he hit me then? Anyway. I think I was in mid-sentence and then I forgot what I was talking about there, but, yeah, in terms of the stream thing, basically, it's a confusing and frustrating thing to get right. Let's just put it that way. There's always something that isn't in the right spot. The way that all the HDMI gear interacts with your computer and your computer-sized screen and your TV screen and all that, you've got to. It can take a while to get everything to work right. Ah, damn. Alright, I'm gonna use that so I don't die. Watch the fat guy. Yeah, exactly. So, for folks who have just joined, this isn't a regular type of live stream, so just bear with us, guys. I thought I'd mix it up and do something a little bit different, just because. I don't even know if this will be archived on the channel, so you might just be experiencing a one-off. All the money Andertons got paid to like the Fender Mustang GT was used to order fish and chips, and then all the fish and chips were piled on a large scale. That would be the weight in tons. Yeah, you might be right about that. Yeah, look, I don't know. Anytime companies do post-production on stuff, you shouldn't use that as your sole guide of buying gear. I reckon post-production's the YouTube's enemy, man. You wonder why some guys have great tones and all this. It's because they do a lot of post-production. And I don't think that always gives you the best, you know, actual user experience when it comes to actually owning something. Like, you'll see a pedal and you go, oh, that's the sound, I want that sound. And then you get it and you go, hang on, that sounds nothing like that. Why? Because there's 15 plugins in the chain making, you know, the other one sound a particular way. So I don't do that. I put limiting on stuff, that's it. I'm not a huge believer in doing those sort of demos. But, you know, they have a good show, people enjoy it, and that's what it comes down to. They're doing alright. This level is a big pain in the ass too. You get a lot of enemies on screen here. OCD full tone, should I buy one? Well, that's the question. Look, every time someone says, which pedal do you like better out of this and this, I always say to them, which one do you like the best? The OCD is one of those really great. It does what it does extremely well. The only thing I'm going to say is I would test one before you buy one, because there's a high-end presence in that particular pedal that you can't dial out even with the tone control out. So just keep that in mind. I'd really like to hear what you have to say about Kiesel. I don't know much about him, man. It's not really a brand I'm familiar with right now. Carbon? Yeah, I've played a few Carbon guitars over the years. One of my favourite PAF style humbuckers. I don't know if I've got a particular brand in mind. Like, I love my 335. I think that sounds really chirpy and bright. And like, they're Japanese Tokai pickups. They're not Gibson ones or whatever, but there's plenty of great brands out there. I had a chance to test some. It only comes down to what I've actually had a chance to test. You know, some guitars inherently sound better than others for a number of reasons, but the pickups are usually most of the reason. I played a 58 Les Paul Custom, which sounded fantastic as well. When I bought my gold top, it was either the 58 or the gold top, and I went for the 56 with the P90s. I kind of almost wish I had got the other one, because that guitar was really awesome. And I mean, it sounded great as well, but I don't know how different it sounds to my Tokai, to be honest. So it might just be one of those. Well, Tyson Tone Lab were the only pickups I've really tried, like third-party humbucker pickups. The rest of them, I've always had stock pickups in most of my guitars. Stop No Name says, interesting format, how do I talk and play at the same time? I'll tell you how. Every time I talk, my gameplay skills go down about 30-40%. It's a lot harder than people think. If you've ever tried, and I know you've tried singing and playing guitar, it's kind of along the same lines as that. You got to get some independence going on. Maybe it's good. This is what you need to get independence when you play and sing. Play lots of Streets of Rage, folks. That's I always die when there's one of these things. Hey, the pipe, awesome. So if you play this game, get the pipe. And yeah, so this is for those who have just joined too. I'm going to just say this from time to time. This isn't a regular type of live stream. I just thought I'd mix it up. Instead of sitting around in front of a computer, I'll sit around and beat up some 90s bad guys. I just got to focus for a minute here. I'll get past this guy. Yes. Cool. Alright, so Virtual Life says, do stainless steel frets wear down? I own a stainless steel fret guitar. You'll never wear them down. I'd be really surprised if you were able to. That's why most people get those frets replaced. Or they put those frets in their guitar, because that's what I did with my 52 Tally. I put them in, and I had no problems. I'll never have to do that again. For an extra 50 bucks, it's, you know, if you're getting them replaced, it's worth doing. But if you already got them in there, that's all you need. And companies like Suhr, who make really great instruments, like their antique T's and Strat style guitars and all that, they do that already. They put them in, so you don't have to go, like, you know, changing frets in a year or however long. So it's really cool. People say wood doesn't matter to tone, and they make a pretty decent case. But if that's true, does it also mean the center block semi-hollow should sound exactly like a regular solid body? Alright, so I kind of feel like guitars with F-holes and all that kind of stuff, you'll hear a difference in the sound, but I think the debate is whether or not, if you're not adding or taking something away. So if you were to make a guitar out of pine and put all the same electronics and hardware in and have it all set up the same, would that make a difference between that type of wood with that configuration and exact specs to a guitar that's exactly the same with different wood? I have a feeling sustain is a huge thing, like with you know, semi-hollow bodies and all that kind of stuff, like 335s or, you know, thin line tallies and all that. You're going to get a sustain thing going on that you don't get with a solid body guitar, but that's not comparing, that's not the argument. I think the argument is whether or not two identical guitars with, you know, all the same pickups and pots and pickup heights and all that sort of stuff, could you hear a difference between one wood and the other? I think that's the argument that I don't even care for, but that's what people argue about. Alright, Boom Shakalaka said, yeah, this is happening. Yeah, see, I told you I'd do it. He was on my other stream last night on my Shane Retro Gamer channel, which doesn't get a whole lot of love from, or it doesn't get a whole lot of input from me anymore. I've just been too busy. How would I rate G&L over Suhr or vice versa? They're just different. Like, both are great guitars. I think Suhr, if I was to buy a guitar, just based on my experience with them, I'd probably get a Suhr. But I also really love those G&L Blues Boy guitars. That would be... And this is the thing, for those who were watching the stream earlier, I mentioned why I sold my G&L originally was because it felt too far away from me when I was playing it standing up. I played another G&L and I didn't have that problem, so that's one of those things. It's weird. What I do now, when I go to buy a guitar, I stand up and I play it. I put a strap on it as well and see how it feels, because A, when you sit down, you don't know how heavy and how neck heavy guitars can be, and whether or not they'll actually feel right when you're standing up. Like, I very rarely practice sitting down. I prefer to stand up and play, because that's how I'll be playing when I'm not in the house most of the time. So yeah, I just thought, why not? Just get in the habit of doing that. And it's better for your back, man. So many people sit down with a hunched back. They'll like be playing guitar and they'll be, you know, hunched over like this for 4 hours. It's just not good for your back. I really should have gone Blaze. I'm much better at this game than... I did really well last night. Oh, I did okay last night. I'm not going to say really well, but I did better than I'm doing now. It's the pressure of having more people watch. Oh, jeez. Alright, let's use that. Oh, so it's not just me. So, is it Gigi? Is that how you pronounce your name? Says I have the same problem with my G&L ASAC Classic. And that's the thing, like, you don't. These are things you don't know until you go to use it live. That's why I suggest if you go to buy a new guitar, play it standing up if you can. I wish I could change characters, man. I might try it. Do it again with Blaze, maybe. Yeah, I just think standing up playing is one of those things, because if something doesn't sit right, like, everyone loves an SG. When they first play it, they go, wow, this feels amazing, I love it. And then they stand up and play it and they go, I hate it. That's, or they still love it. But if you're a taller guy, SGs are awesome. But if you're a short ass like me, SGs are really awkward guitars to play. They're neck heavy. They'll feel further away from your body than a Les Paul. So, you know, your frame of reference gets skewed, and these are things that do my head in. And that's it, really, realistically, they're the only two guitars I've ever had where I felt like they're too far away, and all my reference points aren't where they should be. So, favorite guitarists? I'd probably say I got a few in different genres, like, but you know, the guys that inspired me to play, Albert King. I think it even goes back to the Blues Brothers. Like, I really loved that movie when I was a kid. I think that might have been sort of a catalyst for me wanting to learn how to play guitar. And when I first got into John Lee Hooker, I kind of liked that sort of stuff. But now, yeah, when I first started out, it would have been Eric Clapton. But then I got into Albert King, and I still love Albert King stuff. I think Albert's just a monster. Mark Knopfler, I like his melodic sort of approach to playing and how different it is to just those sort of cliche sort of blues licks and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I like listening to that, but I get sick of it real quick, and that's kind of why I don't like Stevie Ray as much. I've heard it all before. Although he took it to the next level, I don't get much satisfaction out of listening to a guy rip, you know, blues licks a lot. I'm actually really digging, and that said, I'm digging Gary Moore right now because I find like he can play anything extremely well. While he can kind of imitate guys, when he rips, man, it's different. You know, he's not just coming from a I want to be Albert King all day kind of, or I don't want to be Jimi Hendrix. He's doing his own thing. I kind of like that originality in his playing. And that's why I like Albert King more than Stevie Ray, because not only the vocals, but the fact he kind of like pioneered that sound, you know. And that's not to belittle Stevie, he's like fantastic, but I can't really listen to that much. I'm more into now like listening to guys like Knopfler who play something that you'd never think of that sounds amazing. You know, it's that melodic approach that these other guys just don't have. They're just running straight pentatonic licks. Jeff Healey, there's another one. Yeah, man, he can play his ass off. You know, there's an acoustic album I used to love. It was Dave Matthews and I've forgotten the dude's name now. Tom. Someone can help me out with that. It's Dave Matthews and Tim Reynolds, and like that's as good as it gets acoustically for me. That's awesome. I don't listen to that much these days like Dave Matthews. I went through a huge phase listening to their stuff for years, but yeah, I even like just simple melodic guitar stuff as well, like The Edge. I don't mind some of what he's done over the years, and this is how you beat this guy, by the way. You got to hit him, oh damn, and then sort of move around. I don't know. Someone's asking, Knopfler is a one-man band on the guitar. Yeah, absolutely. And the thing with Knopfler, most people think, oh, yeah, Dire Straits, I've heard it all before. And then you go listen to the stuff he did with Chet Atkins, and you go, oh, holy shit. Like, this is completely different to his pop stuff. And then you listen to his actual blues stuff, and you go, holy crap. Like, I didn't know he did this sort of stuff. So Kevin Oldman's just joined. Obviously, he's going Streets of Rage. We used to play this at the farmer store when we were kids. So, Yeah, you know what? I just thought I'd mix it up and do a guitar talk while I'm beating some heads in. Just to, while I'm dying, I should say. Last Life. This fat guy's giving me some grief here. There we go. Should be able to get him now. This is my last life too, so it's going to be an epic fail compared to how well I did yesterday. Oh, the press missed him. So yesterday I got up to the last level and died pretty quickly. I had 1 or 2 lives left when I got there. Oh, that's one thing you got to watch out with these games. When you're standing over weapons and you hit punch, it literally loops and you don't get to attack, so the weapon loops are nasty. I should have gone Blaze, man. I reckon she's just that little bit faster. Sultans of Swing was one of my first inspirations. Same. I remember exactly what happened when I already wanted to learn blues and I'd started learning blues. And then I heard Sultans of Swing and I'm like, this is kind of like blues, even though the music's different. I said, I like how there's something said or sung and then, you know, something played on guitar and none of them overlap each other. And then I didn't probably appreciate how great Mark Knopfler was until, you know, later on. After I got sick of listening to the blues guys, when I found him again, I just went, wow, this guy's on a whole other level. Like, musically, and he writes great songs, and he can play any style of music, and you're right, he's a one-man band. He can play fingerstyle like a monster. And he's such a sort of humble-sounding kind of guy, like, very understated in his approach to how he explains guitar. I like his personality. There's a really great guitar video on Mark Knopfler's collection. It's called like Guitar History Mark Knopfler or something. Look it up. It's really, really good. And you get a really good insight into his personality and how he approaches playing, and he explains a bit about his techniques and all that kind of stuff. And he makes it look really easy. He makes it seem really easy. But what he does, and it might be kind of easy to him, but he thinks about things differently, and I find that refreshing and interesting. Like, I've tried to pinch licks off him over the years, and I have. Some of the stuff I play was from him, or variations on that, obviously. But I love the way he can approach a solo. It just won't sound like anyone other than him. I love that. It doesn't sound like, oh yeah, he's Mark Knopfler doing Stevie Ray. It's Mark Knopfler. Kind of like how Carlos Santana's like that. He plays his own style, whether you like it or not. You know, Santana, you hear him and you go, I know who that is. I have a record with him and Chet Atkins, and it's awesome. Yeah, man. I've watched all of that stuff. Another favourite player of mine is Jerry Reed, if you're talking about finger pickers. He's the guy out of Smoke in the Bandit, the truck driver. For those who don't know, and he's awesome. Shane, are you a bad enough dude to rescue the president? I think on this game, I'm not even going to get close to the end. I don't know what reference that is, but if there's a game that has that in it, I'll give it a go. So right now, this is actually the Xbox 360 version of all the Sega games. So Glenn Campbell was a great guitar player too. I grew up on Jerry Reed. Cool. How tall am I? I'm like 5'8"-ish at the maximum. It's probably being generous. I'm taller than my mum, and so I think I'm around 5'7", 5'8". There's a few people in here who know me in reality, so if I'm overestimating my height, please let me know. Any opinions on the Peavey Valve Kings? I have the micro head 20 watts. Yeah, the Valve Kings are good value. They got a good clean. I think they're a dark sounding overdrive tone, but that works for people who, well, people who like different types of sounds. They're a different sound to say they're classic series amps. And that's good, because they did something different, which is cool. I think they're good value. I've had a chance to use one live a couple times. But yeah, I've never owned one. But I remember when they came out, I was kind of shocked at their price. I thought, oh, these are actually really good value. So that particular head that you've got, I haven't tried. I think I've tried like a 30-watt combo, maybe. Or is it a 20? It might be a 20-watt combo. Maybe it's a 30-watt. It was loud enough to gig with, so I'm assuming it was at least 30 watts. But yeah, you can usually find those amps second-hand or used for a pretty good deal. I don't even know if... Oh, no. I don't know if they make them anymore. But yeah. Shane, what do you think about single-coil noiseless pickups? It's kind of a play on words there, but... yeah, look. It depends which ones you buy. I think Fender have finally got them to sound better than they ever have with the latest ones. I've had all of the previous generation ones, so the Sumerian Cobalt ones, I had 2 sets of those. I had the vintage noiseless pickups. I had what was the other ones? The hot noiseless ones, the Jeff Beck ones, and they were probably my favorite out of those generations. But when I hear the new ones actually sound better. The last generation M3s weren't spectacular, but the thing is though, this is what I was trying to hint at yesterday in the live stream, you know, it doesn't almost matter. You know what kind of sound you want, you'll get a good sound out of them. They're just maybe not as immediately pleasing as some other pickups out there, but I use Joe Barton pickups in my Tally because they're noiseless and they sound good. I got this cut on my head back here, that's why I keep messing with it. And the Zex coil ones are great for strats as well. But yeah, the new Fender ones, I think they're pretty good. They're probably the best they've ever been. So this is my last life. Let's see how we go. I feel like if I was paying attention, I would have done alright today. But I was in the mood to kick some ass. Let me just beat these guys down, and once the elevator goes up, I'll check the chat. I got some tips on this yesterday. The second wave, I've got to just walk up and beat them while they're off screen. Alright. I have the hot noiseless pickups in my Strat, and I love them. Like I said, they were my favourite out of the ones I had. I ended up putting them in the Highway 1 Strat that I should have kept. Guitar was so good, man. Like tone-wise, and it was light, and it was just a great guitar. Just learn to refret yourself with cheap used up. Yeah, well, I mean, look, the thing with refretting your guitar is you'll still need tools. And I mean, how often are you gonna, like, it's a great skill to learn, no doubt about it. I wouldn't mind learning how to do it, but all I know is I would need the tools to get all of that stuff done, whatever that would be, and then would my job be as good as someone I trust with my gear? And oh, it's also a time thing too. If you've got time and you've got the tools, definitely learn how to do it. I think soldering is another skill that most folks should learn. Just because you can repair, you know, a dodgy pot or a jack or whatever, you can fix things, or even oh no, died. I got thrown off the edge. Oh man. Alright. Oh, broke bag instead of bad. Alright, let me check the chat here. I'll get over to this. Alright. I'd love to learn how to refret, but too scared to attack my PRS. Yeah, I'm the same. There's no guitar that I own that I'd want to refret. Even this cheap guitar here, look, it might be it doesn't need frets, but if I was to do it, I'd still be scared I'm going to butcher it, and if I butcher it, I won't want it. I know what I'm like, so I'd rather take it to someone and get it done. So, yeah. Alright, so should I fire up another game or should I just answer some questions? Phil93 says, Shane, have you had any experience in pedal building? I have. I built 3 or 4 pedals and 2 okay, so I built 2 types of pedals twice. And that's it. I made an overdrive. Actually, it's right over there. I built an overdrive called the Night Drive, which was I got from the parts from pedal part. No, what was it called? DIY. Anyway, I got the parts from a guy I know who does that stuff here. His name's Paul. I can't remember his website address off the top of my head, but anyway. Hey, Pixie Lex is here. Yeah, man. I sort of hadn't completely planned to do this, but when I saw you live, I thought I'll wait until you're done. So, yeah, it was fun watching your live stream tonight. And you know what? After watching you play guitar, mate, I thought, you know what? I'm just going to play some games. So I don't bring the overall skill level down. Do I have a favorite blues album? Oh, favorite album, sorry. I've got a few favorite albums. I really love Blood Sugar Sex Magic, Red Hot Chili Peppers. I've got a lot of different favorite albums in different genres. But in terms of rock albums, that would probably be the closest to my favorite that I can think of. In blues, I love From the Cradle, Eric Clapton's album. That kind of was the catalyst for me really wanting to play blues. I love some soundtrack albums as well. I'm all over the place when it comes to stuff with music. I've just different favorite albums for different niches, but I don't know if I have one definitive album I like more than everything else, because in like heavy rock, I love White Zombie's Les Exorcisto album. I totally love that one. Pixie Lex says, I had this exact game back in '91, but it was for the Amiga. I got it in 2017 for the Xbox. And isn't that so true of guitar players? Like, we don't like to move on to the new tech. We'll buy the new tech, but we'll play the old, we'll play the old games on it. Tracy C says, never got into games. That's alright. That's probably a smart move. I grew up in an arcade when I was a kid, so I had plenty of experience with pinball machines and all kinds of stuff when I was younger. It kind of got me hooked. I'd walk into the arcade with my family and we'd get like a bag full of coins and they say, go have some fun. So that's how that all started. Alright, so this particular series of... Let's try another game. What do you reckon? Let's beat up some more, folks. Let's just go down the list. Now, I'm not as familiar with this one, but we'll give this a bit of a rip. Alright, so here in the UK, hello. If you were to buy one amp today under 1500... Oh, chat scrolled. So, best amp under 1500 US dollars that you don't play metal. These kind of questions you can't really answer, man. The best thing to do is just find what you think is the sound that you have in your head. Because what I like and what, say, Pixie would like are two different amps. Or whoever. Or what I would like and what you would like. So, there's no right answer for these kind of questions. The only thing I can suggest is go play 5 amps and find out which one you like the best and why. And then see if you can research what other amps there are that are very similar to that. Because $1,500 will get you a lot of really great amps, whether you want a really great clean tone or whether you want to get like some sort of Marshall or a used whatever. There's so many amps out there you can get. So Lando says the VIC-20 was the system just before the Commodore 64. Man, I remember those Commodore 64 things. I never owned one, thankfully, but all I remember is cassette tapes taking forever to load these really, really crappy games. I don't really have a recollection of the games themselves. I was pretty young when that was out, but I just remember waiting forever for things to load. and how like underwhelmed I was when it all happened. The Amiga 500 was probably the first console / computer that I remember thinking to myself, wow, this is actually getting good. I actually remember playing games like Ryzen? Is that what it was called? Am I thinking of the CPU? I can't remember, but anyway, it was like this Conan sort of character, Conan, and Batman was out then as well. So, all right, let's give this a bit of a bash. I'm sure this video is going to get flamed online from all the folks that I probably lost like 1,000 subscribers. You know what? It's worth it. I always feel like I don't take enough risks with my channel, and rather just sit there like I normally do in front of my computer, I thought I'm gonna mix it up today. So let's see how many people have left the channel today. Is this gonna work? Oh, come on. Alright, so the stream seems to be working okay, which is good. Sometimes doing this when you got like 10 things going into OBS, it doesn't work so well. Yeah, I have lost a few subs. Oh well, you get that. Anyway. Krellbar says he was the master of Donkey Kong in the arcade. That's a tough game. That's, you know what? There's an awesome documentary put together called The King of Kong. I think you can get it on YouTube for free. Go watch that. It's really good. It's about the world Donkey Kong competition, the arcade one. So Pixie says he had the drive, was so not as slow as the tape. We played Bubble Bobble and Dig Dug. Man, they're two great games. One of my favorite arcade games, which I don't have available right now, is Mr. Do, or Mr. Doe, I think it's actually pronounced, but that's one of those sort of games too where it's brutally hard but good fun. Battletoads, man. Bradley says do more blind comparisons. I plan on doing those. There's one I want to film this week, which... Who should I go, guys? Big Max, who's slow but strong. Let's go hot miniskirts. 16-bit miniskirts. Yeah, I plan on doing some more... oh man, this game feels great to play. It's a lot less clunky, actually. Wow, I kind of felt like Streets of Rage 1 had better controls, but I could be wrong. This actually feels really, really good to play. One of the blind comparisons I want to do this week isn't your conventional one, but I think it'll spark some interest. I can probably tell you what it is, but it's going to be like a $5,000 rig versus a $500 rig, and does it make any difference? And see, I mean, not to the player, but in terms of what you can hear. Can you hear the difference when you're not seeing it? Because I really feel like once a guitar gets to a certain type of quality, it's all up to whoever's playing it. I'm not saying I'm like a quality player, but I have my style, and I don't think it will matter for me which guitar I use. I'll still be able to dial in a decent tone out of both setups, so that's the plan. Ghouls and Ghosts is an awesome game. You know what? I love that, but it's so hard. All those... If you're talking about the arcade one, man, that's so brutal. I can just make it very occasionally to the second level, and then those mini demons come out and I'm dead. So if you like gaming, by the way, it seems like a lot of folks know this sort of stuff. I still have my my Shane Retro Gamer channel online, which I don't do a lot on anymore, but there's heaps of games I've already posted, so you can check it out. The only games I ever finished was Shadow of the Beast 2 and Another World, both on Amiga. Yeah, I remember being like just totally blown away by the Amiga. Hang on, I think I might be right, but are they... Amigas plugged directly into a television, didn't they? They didn't have like a computer monitor back then. They were just like a TV computer, basically. Could be wrong. It's been a long time since I was around one of those sort of... oh, jeez. There we go. around an Amiga. I haven't seen one of those things for years. I mean, other than online, but yeah, I can't remember. So Cole says, what emulator am I using? I'm actually using an Xbox 360. And I've got the controller here. And it's called the Sega Classics. It's like 40 Mega Drive games, basically. And it was something like 15, 20 bucks or something. This was years ago. I've had this pack for years. And yeah, I think I've had my Xbox almost 10 years. That's crazy. I just don't make... I don't make as much use of it as I probably should. I have lots of ROMs though. I got hundreds and hundreds of ROMs. So everything from all the arcade games from like 1979 all the way through to like Street Fighter 2 and Mortal Kombat era. I've got pretty much the entire collection of Sega CD games now, which might not mean much to anybody, but you know, I've got that. I've also got all of the most of the NES collection. I might use my special move. What is it exactly here? Oh, Hadouken. Awesome. So yeah, I've got lots of games right now. Most of the 8 and 16-bit ones. Everyone says that Fender Twins are so unbelievably loud on 2. I play mine at home on 3 and 4, and it's fine for me. Do I have something wrong? Is it a light technique, or is it pickups, or what? It could be any of that stuff. It could also be depending on the amp too, depending on how old the amp is. There was a lot of tolerance differences with amps years ago. A Fender Twin on 3, I had a Twin. I can't remember how loud I used to gig with it, but yeah, I think it would vary. It'd be a combination. Some people can plug into an amp and make it sound really, really loud based on how heavy they hit the strings. Based on, yeah, like you said, your technique, all that kind of stuff. I would turn it up to 3 and just hit it hard and see what happens. See if it's way louder when you... Maybe just a light picker. There's guys like that as well. Mr. Kareem says he owns 3 Sega CD consoles. Man, that's crazy. I had one when I was younger. I had the original Sega Genesis or Mega Drive. It used to be called whatever. I'll just call it the Mega Drive because that's what it's called here. The black one, the big sort of clunky one with the headphone jack. And then I got I wanted the Sega CD add-on, but at that time it was like crazy expensive, so I ended up selling the Mega Drive and I got the Super Nintendo, and then I flipped that for the Mega Drive 2 came out, and that's when I got the Sega CD, and I ended up with games like great classic titles like Time Gal and what's the other stuff? I had like Slam City with Scottie Pippen. I could beat that, which it's like almost like a muscle memory game or something hard. But yeah, there weren't really that many great games on the Sega CD. There's a few really good ones. The ones I like are all the sort of horror movie themed ones, which are the ones that most people don't like, I guess. But I love like Night Trap and Corpse Killer and all that. They're so cheesy that they're fun. I'm a huge horror movie fan. One of the things that I like a lot. Well, I grew up watching horror movies and playing games. So that should give you an insight into my intelligence level. Yeah, the 32X, man. One of my favorite videos on that is Angry Video Game Nerd's review of the 32X. It's a crack up. What's my favorite pedal? Well, in terms of overdrive, it's still the Versus Audio dual overdrive pedal. I haven't found a pedal I like more than that. In terms of delay, I'm loving the Wampler Tape Echo version 2. I could just use those and be happy. I haven't really been using... I've kind of downsized my rig. I got re-inspired to just play after watching Chris Kane play. He was fantastic. He had a guitar, he had a cable, and he had an amp, and that was it. And he made it sing. So I was like, alright, so he doesn't need any of this crap to play. So that's what I'm going to try and do. I'm going to downsize. So tonight as well, I'm just taking one pedal, the dual overdrive out, I'm going to make the most out of it with my hands. And I feel like the less I'm fiddling with stuff, the better I play. Even though I've got my pedal board set up where I can just drop it down and it sounds good, I still prefer not to have options at my disposal sometimes. And then when I do a gig and I use my pedal board, I'm like, wow, have a listen to this. What about the tape echo from Wampler versus the analog delay like the carbon copy? I like the Wampler tape echo a lot more than the carbon copy. I think the carbon copy is a great pedal. It's probably my top 3, give or take. So there's nothing wrong with it. It's a great pedal, but the versatility of the tape echo is great. It has tap tempo and it has a whole lot of different sort of things you can do with it. It might be overkill for a lot of people. That's the thing. Like, simple is good. I always believe simple is good. The Wampler tape echo is like the first complicated pedal that I absolutely love. So, you know, you take that for what it's worth. I don't really like a whole lot of complicated, you know, buttons and not tap tempo, but it has all these time signatures on there that I'll never use. But the fact is I can just not, I don't have to push a button to disable that stuff. It just goes to the mode I like straight away, which is quarter notes. So for me, that's fine. Oh, I missed her. Yeah. Oh yeah, she's got this cool sweep. Let's see if it works. No, I'll do it on someone else. I always forget about those extra moves that these characters have. These are best played with 2 players, these sort of games. They're just too much fun. I think the bag is better than the hockey mask. I mean, this bag. One of these things, the Hessian bags. They're, yeah. Friday the 13th. I've got all but Jason X on DVD. I'm pretty sure my DVD collection's weird. I got all kinds of weird stuff. You know, a lot of horror movies that don't get any actual. Oh, I shouldn't have got that. That don't get enough recognition of the Italian ones. I think Italian horror movies are pretty awesome. Check out some Lucia Fulci horror movies. They're crack ups, man. Not only, I mean, the video, like the script or whatever you want to call it, isn't that good, but the effects are so good. There's one called Zombie without the E on the end, so just Zombie with an I. And that, man, has the worst eye scene you've ever seen ever. Like, it's like brutal. The effects in that are just above any, like, American zombie movie of their time. I love American movies, by the way, but in terms of the effects, the Italians back in the day, man, they were just crazy good. And they're really artistic too. They do, there's a few other movies, actually that's on an Italian one, but there's another guy, Dario Argento, who does, I think is he Spanish maybe? Or maybe he's Italian, I don't know. He does one called Suspiria, which is another crazy, random sort of horror movie. And yeah, that's kind of nuts. Still think The Shining is one of the best horror movies ever made. Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't disagree with that. Alright, someone asked me a question about Fender Custom Shop. Let me scroll back up. Oh! There's a question about pickups somewhere I missed. Oh, here we go. Fender Custom Shop 69 or Fender Fat 50s? My personal opinion, and people will disagree, and that's fine. I don't like Fat 50s. I think they're way too bright and they buzz way too much. I know a friend of mine who has a really great guitar, and he put Fat 50s in and it's never sounded worse. It's just, look, they've got their sound, and if that's the sound you're going for, then you'll love it. This is all subjective stuff, but I've owned Fat 50s as well, and I couldn't deal with the buzz, man. They just buzz like nobody's business. Those underwound sort of pickups can work. They can work okay, but they can also be pretty awful sometimes too. And if you're using a lot of overdrive, I wouldn't put those in a guitar. There's just no way. It'll be buzz central. So yeah, look, that's just my opinion. I'd much prefer going for a 60s thing or whatever. And the same thing, most pickups, it won't really matter too much. if you play okay, you'll be able to make them work. But Fat 50 is like one of those pickups I would just stay away from. A lot of people love them though, so if you love them, there's nothing wrong with that. I just don't like them too much. Yeah, the single coil, and you know what? A lot of people say the same thing about Texas Specials. They're too bright and all this kind of stuff. I would take Texas Specials over Fat 50s if I was to, do it all over again. Hey, I used that back kick finally. I'm doing heaps better with Blaze, and I'm not as familiar with this game, so there we go. Shane, have you ever tried the Peavey Viper Tube 60 or Tube 120? Has the trans tube like the Bandit, but the valves at higher volumes? No, I haven't tried either of those two. I don't really see too many Peavey dealers anymore here in Melbourne. There's just not too many around. Alien, well there you go. There's another great movie, no doubt about it. Alien is great. The second one's awesome as well. That's one of those few times you debate whether the sequel's better, like Terminator 2. Have I tried the Fender Breaker 45? Yeah, I've tried, I think, all of them now, except for the head on its own, just the head. I've tried the combo, the 45 combo with the two. It's the one with the two speakers. I don't know. It wasn't for me. I found it a little too crunchy. But yeah, I don't know. I find those amps just a little too crunchy for my particular taste. But like I said, everyone likes different stuff, and if you like the sound of it, that's all that really matters, you know. For me, I always go for a big clean tone, and that amp doesn't really. Oh, I'm getting arse hands in here. That amp really doesn't have that. It's good for getting sort of a bit of a dirty sound. And that said, the actual 15, is my favourite small 15 watt practice amp or low powered amp. I think the Bass Breaker 15 is leagues ahead of just about all of them. The only problem I see with them is I've played a lot of them, and nearly every one of them has rattly tubes. So when you buy it, make sure you turn it up a bit and see if the valves are faulty straight out of the gate, because a lot of the time, nearly every time I've played one of those, I think every time I've played one of those 15s, they've had faulty tubes, or at least oscillating tubes. It still sounds okay, but if that bothers you, it could be a problem. So I love the Street Fighter rip-off there. The Hadouken's awesome. I have a hard time getting used to the gain on the... Oh, sorry. Get my arse handed to me here. Wally says, whoa, Streets of Rage. Yeah, playing the second one, just for some kicks here. Played the first one before, but talking and trying to play is extremely hard. I don't know how these Let's Play channels do it. Especially if you're talking about two separate things. So instead of me sitting on a couch, not being very interesting to look at, I thought I'd mix it up and do a guitar chat while I beat up some punks. Yeah, so difference between Jag and Jazzmaster. Yeah, look, I always get them confused, but one of them has way too many dip switches. I think all of that stuff just doesn't need to go on guitars, man. Sometimes there's 15 dip switches on a guitar, and all you want to do is change pickups. That loses my attention. I don't care who makes it. But yeah, look, you got to be comfortable. And someone mentioned it felt stupidly large on as well, so keep that in mind. Some guitars just don't feel right when you're playing. For me, that's an SG. I love SGs, the tone of them and the way they look, but when I play them, they just don't feel right for whatever reason. Oh, come on. Oh, so every time, I forgot about that, every time you use your special move, you lose a bit of life. Yep. Oh, what? The jetpack pile driver? How do I... Oh, okay. That should have hit him, or her. There we go. I'll take questions in a sec. Just let me beat this guy down. An original name, Jet. The one thing I like about this game over the original one is it comes up with the characters' names when you're sort of hitting them. They get their health meter, like Surger. Interesting name. Oh, someone's at my door. Hang on a sec, guys. This should be interesting. Come on. Yep. So I now have a cat that's just turned up, who isn't my cat, but anyway, come on. Wanna say hi to YouTube? Come on. Come on. No. Alright. Someone asked, do I play GTA 5? I own it. I don't play online. I don't have an Xbox Gold account. Morally, I think charging for a service like that is... Come on. Come on, Fatso. Charging for a service like that is to use, you know, just play games you own online. I don't like that idea. I don't see the... Ouch. What type of live stream is this, man? You get to look at a cat's ass. And then we're doing gaming on a guitar channel. Yeah, you gonna sit down or what? No? Oh, good God. This cat weighs like half the amount I do, I reckon. He's huge. Alright, how do we get this guy? There we go. Oh, he does the Superman. Alright, let's try this. How do I get this guy? Yeah, this is the neighbour's cat. He always comes around, especially when it's cold and he's locked out. He likes to, he knows I'm a sucker and I'll let him in. The heater's always on, so he stays in for a little while, gets warm, and then decides that's enough. Although sometimes he stays in here for like 5 hours. It's crazy. He's a big dude. I'll show you this. Check this out. Look how big he is, right? Hello. And he's got these claws that just, they're like little razor blades, aren't they? Hey? Thanks for that. I have white fur all over my black top. So you're a beast. Come on. Oh man. This is crazy. Oh man. Sorry about this, folks. I can't play while he's doing this. And he gets in these play modes where he decides he wants to... Good God, man. No, he's over to the heater now. Well, that was arguably the worst. I could have done anything right there. Have I continued yet, or was that the first one? Alright, let's beat this guy. Come on. Come on, I can't hit this guy in the sky. What am I doing wrong? There we go. Ah, follow the shadow, maybe. There we go, I got it now. It's always a trick to hit these guys. And that's not it. There we go. Alright, I'll remember that for next time. So I've gone doors and do this. He does. Oh, sorry. Yeah, he does. He knows, like, because I got this fly screen, and he'll bang on it, and he knows that I'll hear that. He's a smart little bird. Give the cat the channel. Give the cat the channel. He's a beast, man. He's got to weigh 5 kilos, which is a lot for a cat. Or he has to be very, very close to it. I'd say 4, conservatively. At least 4 to 5 kilos. He's huge, man. He weighs about as much as a Les Paul. Maybe more. He's a beast. I don't feed him or anything, he just turns up and hangs out. I think cats know when they trust people. Alright, anyway guys, I'm like pretty distracted here. Let's check some questions. It's In the Blues cat. So it's cold in July in Australia? Yeah, this is winter time here now, so... when I woke up this morning, or I stayed in bed for a bit longer, it was 2 degrees Celsius. It's warmer than that now, but not warm enough that I want to turn the heater off. Kilo is 2.1 pounds, yeah, so... Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just double it and add a little bit. That's kind of what it works out to. So he'd be close to somewhere between 8 and 10 pounds. He's a beast. Hey Terry, you're the man when it comes to the live streams, man. I'm on a lot of them as well. Sometimes I don't speak a lot, but yeah, you're Mr. Reliable. I've heard that the modern Chinese Korg Voxes are cheap sounding and not as dynamic as the British ones. What's your opinion on this? I think you might be right. I haven't owned an original one before. I've played an original one before and it sounded great. The difference is a lot of the old ones don't have the top boost channel. They're just a big clean amp. And they're highly unreliable. Anyone who says the old Vox amps are reliable are kidding themselves. They're not. They'll break down left, right, and center. The new ones, I gigged exclusively with Vox amps for a number of years, and I had a AC15 C1 and the AC30 C2. It was one of the few amps where I opted for the dirt channel over the actual clean channel because I thought it was really musical, and that with a tube screamer, and it was great. Because the one thing Vox amps lack, and I don't know why, when I've read write-ups on them on Vox websites, they're always talking about the Vox mids. They're such a scooped mid amplifier. I don't know where they're getting that from. They're all tops and all bottoms. But in terms of comparison, I wouldn't buy a 60s Vox based on the fact I know how unreliable they are. Go into any music store, there's always one getting fixed. Inku Fish says, hi from Maryland, USA. Thanks, man. How you going? Look, the old ones, I'm sure the old ones tone-wise would sound fantastic, so don't take that the wrong way. Tone-wise, they're going to be great, but when you start buying amps that are as old as they are, and that are known for having problems, if you're using them a lot, you're going to run into issues with them. I know guys that have owned old amps, old Vox amps, and they're always talking about having to get them fixed a lot. It's just the way that it is. But maybe you got to do that when you want vintage tone. I don't know. Alright, I don't even know how long this particular game is. I haven't played for ages. But yeah, we might do a couple more levels here and take some more questions in between all the punching on. Oh, what? Special move didn't work. Oh, I remember this now. Yeah, these ninja-looking dudes jumping down from the X-Men ninja dudes. So yeah, for those who have joined the stream and wondering what the hell's going on, I just wanted to mix things up today. So it's either this or kind of just sitting around. So I'm gonna have some fun and chop some heads. Oh. One good thing about this game and all the Streets of Rage games is when you get thrown. What's that? What the hell is that thing? It's not a knife, is it? It's like a. What is it? Oh yeah, it is a blade. That's 16-bit graphics right there. Couldn't tell what the hell it was. Ah. There we go. Alright, cool. The current generation of AC30s, the hand-wired ones, are awesome. Yeah, actually, you know what? I totally forgot about those amps. Some of the best tone, one of my friends said he heard, who's a great guitar player, was a guy using one of the new AC15 hand-wired amps. He said it was unbelievably good, like exceeded his expectations by a mile. And he was the guy who actually had an original, a mate of his died and he got his hands on it. He was given AC30, like the original one. He says, man, he was totally blown away by how good it was. So yeah, I always forget about those amps for some reason. I don't know why. Those hand-wired ones, they're yeah, they're really good. So Terry Bear says, you survived the marathon after the cam went off, I heard, or was that you that was first to give in? I think I kind of, once people looked like they were falling asleep, I thought, and I hadn't eaten all day, right? So, well, I did. I ate a little bit earlier, but we spoke for hours and hours after we turned off the stream on Tone King's channel. And once I sort of saw Steve starting to nod off, I thought, now I'm getting tired. I had to mention that, Steve. Sorry, man. But yeah, it was one of those things that it was like 6 p.m. and it got dark here, so the whole day kind of went by, and I needed to eat. I was starting to fade, so I might have been one of the guys that said it's time to go, but I don't know if I was the first to mention it. I think Jeff might have, but it was crazy late there. It was like 4 in the morning. I'm surprised Pixie made his stream today. I was wondering if he was going to feel a little bit under the, under motivated for that. Ugh. What the hell? Thought I hit jump. There we go. Knee to the face is always good. Man, this cat is rocking out in front of the heater. You should see him. He's hilarious. Alright. I agree, when I started playing the USO, I had a Fender Twin. It failed on me too many times. I switched to a Roland JC 120 and never went back to the old tube amps. Sorry, man, I have to go. Been enjoying the past hour. Rock on. Thanks, man. Thanks, Sonic CD. That's an awesome username, by the way. That is one of the great games on that system, actually. There you go. Showman Blues. See Shane getting late here. Great live cast. See you later. Bye. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate that. Yeah, thanks for joining in. I really just thought I want to try something different. It might shoot me in the ass, but I figured, you know what? It's worth doing something weird every now and then just to mix things up. And yeah, I was even concerned that the Guitar Search Saturday thing might be a bit too weird. You just never know. People get used to one particular thing all the time, and that's what they expect. But then all of a sudden, everyone doesn't want to see that anymore. So it's good. I think it's good to try different things. And oh, so these are like exploding alien egg thingies. I like it. Oh, how come I dropped my sword? Sweet, can I pick it up? No. Land on my feet. Awesome. That's what you want to do. You want to throw these characters into other characters. I can't wait to see the comments on this later, just to see, like, you know, once this video is not live. I don't know if I'll keep it posted or not, but yeah, I thought it would be interesting to do this just once and see what happens. Maybe it'll get a whole new audience. Get the gaming community on board. No, I don't want to stray too far from the guitar stuff, but you know, keeping the topic of the conversation mostly on guitars is, I reckon that's still relevant. And you get to watch something else rather than just me. You get to watch some 16-bit chick in a miniskirt kicking everybody's ass with her weird-looking shoes. What's up with her shoes? They're like elf shoes. Oh, here we go. Ooh, alright. Ah, I shouldn't have wasted that. Alright, let me kick this thing's ass and I'll... This is one weird looking... This is like its poor attempt at 3D. Doesn't that remind you of Contra? Something about Contra, this character. I don't know what it is. Fits right into the Super Nintendo's version. Alright. There we go. Terry says, "Nah, this stream just became the cat's ass when the cat showed up." Yeah. Man. Cat, I call him the boss. He just does whatever the hell he wants, man. Just doesn't care. It's like, I'm gonna sit there and you can't do anything about it. If you don't like it, I'm gonna claw you. It's like, alright, take the seat. He's one of those cats, man, he's all friendly and that, and then you pick him up, and all of a sudden he goes nuts. You just gotta be really careful how you approach him. He'll invite you to pat his belly, but then he'll claw you, and it's like playing those Jedi cat mind games on us. Hey mate, great hanging out, watching games, but I'm heading out. Might catch you later. Yeah, I'll be up there tonight, man. So if you want to have a play, I'm definitely going to go up for an actual play of guitar tonight. I'm not talking about games there, so I'll catch you soon, mate. Those getting kicked out of warm-up vids, you can do getting kicked out of Guitar Center. Man, it's funny, you know, like one thing I learned yesterday is that more people buy guitars sight unseen than I anticipated. I mean, I guess I've sold a lot of guitars to people who haven't played them, but I would make an assumption that they're informed buyers, but there must be a huge portion of people that just buy guitars without actually ever playing or ever feeling a particular guitar before. Yeah, I think that's kind of weird. I guess it just comes down to trusting reviews and all that sort of stuff as well. So I guess that's a good reflection on informative gear reviews or demos, all that kind of stuff. People feeling like they trust whoever they're watching and all that. But yeah, I don't think I've ever really just purchased a guitar without at least playing one like it before. So yeah, I don't know how many guitars I've ever bought online. I was trying to... Pedals, I bought plenty of pedals over the internet. As soon as I was able to use eBay and all that kind of stuff, I bought lots of stuff from there. I actually bought a lot of stuff from Amazon back in the early days too, before they had a lot of restrictions on what they could send overseas through dealership issues and that. But oh, yeah, let's see if we can change characters here. Let's go Max. Oh yeah, God, he's slow, but he's tough. Vinny Jail says, I thought I was dropping in on a new guitar set Saturday, but this came up. Alternative Universe stayed for the fun. Nice work. Thanks, man. Like I said earlier on, for those who have just joined, I just did this for something different. I thought, we can talk guitars while I crack some skulls. And I've got this crazy huge guy right now, Max, who is going to deliver the pounding of a lifetime to these guys. He's like Hagar. I mean, have you ever played bloody Final Fight? Minus the cheesy pants. He's the same character, almost. What's his special move? It's the same special move as Hagar. So, how does that work? You can somehow hit behind him as well when he swings. That's interesting. You have to keep turning direction. I like that. There we go. I bought a Timmy before I heard it and wasn't disappointed. Yeah, but you must have known about the Timmy somehow. Did you just buy it without actually ever hearing one? Like, I wouldn't buy a pedal based on... I'd never buy a pedal without at least knowing what it does. Either hearing it in a sound sample or something similar. Actually, I bought one pedal that I can think of like that. The Plon. I remember not knowing anything about them, and when I went with my friend Rick, he said, you got to get one of these things. They're like infamous. I was like, I don't know, man. I like buying stuff that I have. Actually, yeah, so that's probably the only pedal I've ever bought and knew, like, that I had no idea about. There was others that I've purchased just for videos back in the old days where I was buying and selling a lot of stuff just for YouTube. I bought from Cash Converters really cheap, and I'd Google it and I checked that it was 49 bucks and the pedal was worth 300. I'd be like, I'll just buy this anyway because I can sell it for more. And I did that a lot, but I think second-hand market stuff's a little bit different. Oh wow, Guitar Center gives you 45 days to return, and that's one thing we don't have in Australia that is as good. We don't have the return policy thing here needs to be fixed. It needs to be more like that. Because that Fender Mustang GT thing, man, I would have loved my money back. But in the end, I had to get a guitar that I was pretty happy with, the Maton. But yeah, I still would have preferred my cash back, and I'm thinking about recovering my money for that. Because the plan is, I don't know if I mentioned this on the live stream or not, I probably didn't, but like I want to go away next month, or in, yeah, it is next month now, so in August, I'm sort of starting to plan a trip away. I haven't been on a vacation / holiday for 3 years, which means like I'm selling a whole lot of pedals and you know, amps and stuff. And yeah, the point was, hang on, let me just beat this guy. Oh damn. Yeah, I just haven't been away for so long, and I'm kind of, I'd rather have had my money back, you know, and if one day I hope Australia sort of catches up with the rest of the world in terms of being able to get a refund for something you're not happy with. The change of mind policy we've got here, they go, oh, you can't get a refund, but we'll exchange it. Like, that sucks, you know, that really sucks. But better to get a guitar that I know has better value than a shitty amp, so I'm happy with that. Oh, his special move is awesome. Oh, come on. Shoulder a couple of chicks in the... There we go. Man, it's so slow though. See, that's always the trade-off. I agree, Shane. I told you about the Hangout, how I got my Blues Junior when I wanted the refund, and that's how it happened for me too. I got that Blues Junior straight out of the box. It's faulty. I took it back. I tried another one, and that was faulty. So I thought, you know what? Screw Fender, man. I'm over it. Time to get something else. And that's why I got that Australian-made guitar. I had no problems with it, but I kind of feel like if I'm going to go away, I would prefer my money back at some point. But if I was still doing my old day job, I wouldn't care. It wouldn't make any difference at all. But it does make a difference now, so I got to be more cautious of how I spend money and what I thought I was getting with the Mustang and what I ended up with were two different end results. But I guess in some ways it all works itself out in the end. I'll be a couple of $100 down if I flip that guitar, but you know, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I like that. This guy's got heaps of really great when you get the grabs. That's awesome. That was easy. MB215 says he got 11 subs with no videos. I think what happens is, you know, if you're a regular in live stream hangouts, whether it be mine or Pixies or Tone Kings or whatever, I see guys like Bobby Beretta, I think that's his name. He's in like all of the live streams that I go in a lot of the time. In different niches as well. It's crazy. I think we all have a lot of common ground with stuff, whether it be gaming or yeah, just different channels. So it's interesting to see names pop up, and that brings me to my point. Like, I think once a few people know you from live streams, they'll subscribe to you. Just on the off chance you upload something, or if you have a favorites list or you create playlists, people will subscribe too. So there's plenty of there's plenty of channels out there who just put playlists together that have thousands of subscribers and actually no content. They just put playlists together. So that's a good way to build your channel too. Create playlists of different people's stuff into one big playlist, and you know, all that stuff really works as well. That's one thing a lot of people don't use on YouTube enough is playlists. But anyway, we're getting off topic. But yeah, so that's the thing. I see guys in other people's live streams that I know from the guitar community, but are in a whole different live stream altogether. So that's maybe why you have maybe that's why you have the subscriptions. Or the subscribers, I should say. Get my ass handed to me here. How's this? Is this doing everyone's epilepsy in or what? Alright, cool. I bought a 80 Mexican Strat to save money, but when Trump got into office, it was deported for taking jobs from American standards. Man, well, you know the old joke. What's the difference between a Mexican Strat and an American Strat? What is it, like 10 miles? Pretty much sums up that. Oh. Loving this change up, but still talking gear. Well, that's the thing, man. I'm going to sit here talking about other stuff. I think, you know, I would be doing everyone a disservice if I said, hey, you know what I'm doing right now? I'm going to just start doing gaming on my main channel. People would be like, what the hell? So, you know, keep it... Oh, jeez. Keep it guitar orientated and we're good. No, I'm not doing very well here. Jeez, this guy... Have I got one more continue? No, that's it. You get one continue. Brutal. I'm not sure. Oh, there's a question. I didn't get the humor in it. How does the Mexican Strats get over the wall? I was like, what does that mean? Yeah, okay. So bad. Man, I kind of... I'm not going to get into the politics thing, but I just got to say, like, it's a weird time, man. It's a weird time. For good or for bad, it's just weird at the moment with all that stuff, all the jokes, and it's just crazy. No high score, nah, sucked today. So, you know what, folks? I reckon that might be bad enough for the games. What I'll do, I'll turn that on. I'll keep the stream going just for a sec. Let's see if I can hoax the cat into coming back. Yeah. So, let's do this. Alright, I'll take a couple more questions. I'm sure I've missed a few, so feel free for feel free to ask whatever you like. Alright. Being active in people's channels will get you subs, but going into people's channels / live streams telling them to sub to your channel will get you banned. Like I tell people. Yeah, well, that's the thing. You can't... Asking for subs is useless, because unless you've got good content, people aren't gonna, if they do sub, they're not going to watch your stuff. And everybody has dead subs in their list. So I might have 60,000 subs or however many I'm up to. Majority of them don't watch every video because not all of it's relevant to whatever they subscribe for. If they subscribe for a particular brand of pedal or left-handed guitars, for example, and all I'm doing is uploading other content, no one's going to watch that stuff. So if you... Best way to grow your channel is do it organically or collaborate with other people and do all that kind of stuff. So basically, going in and asking for subscribers doesn't work. Only, you know, kids who don't understand how YouTube works do that. And no offense to kids, but that's what they do. I see it all the time. I don't get the appeal of USA guitars. You're saying a Mexican person can't make something as good as an American person. Well, that's the thing. Like, they're just as good. And they say the tooling in Mexico is better. I don't know how true that is or whether it makes a difference, but these are the what do you want to call it? Like the rumors you hear about stuff. Carl Bear wants everyone to subscribe to his channel, so there you go. All you have to do to get good... You know, for your channel to grow is do something unique and do something different and just keep at it for a while and eventually it'll grow. I've started other YouTube channels where I just did it as a test to see if another channel I made would do well quickly. I got 500 subscribers in no time. So not on my gaming one, but on other channels that I also run. Lando says, one guy kept asking for subs on the Tone King last night. Cover song channel. Oh, yeah, he's a spammer, man. Yeah, I've blocked that guy. He's got that shitty version of Zombie, that song that came out in the 90s. I think he's been reported now because every video people post, he spams the same comment in a lot of... It's like automatic. So I'm pretty sure he's been reported. My main tally is my main Mexican tally. That's cool. My favorite Strat is the one that I have now. And not because it's the only one I have right now, but because it's just, it feels great and it sounds good. And that's a Mexican Strat. One of the best ones I ever played, a couple of years back, I demoed a red Mexican Strat, and it was just awesome. There's another one I should have got. Mexican vintage reissues of great value. Cool. So I'm just looking at my subs here, folks, and it's literally done this. So people have, it's gone up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So this is interesting to see. I don't mind losing a few subscribers because odds are they were here for, like, they might not have been here for the long haul anyway. Just to see how things work. So it's you know, for every 3 I lose, I probably get 30. Or more, 40. So, you know, I like running experiments that are a little bit weird sometimes. I should do it more. Alright, guys. What I might do is head off. So if anyone has any last questions, feel free to let me know. I think I'm about 20 seconds in front of what you're actually seeing, so... Inkyfish says, thoughts on rockabilly? Rockabilly, is there a style you want to dig into? I really like rockabilly stuff. There's certain types of it I really dig. I mean, musically it's fun to listen to. It has lots of really cool guitar parts and rhythms and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to get banned says, I lost and gained 5 subs every week for a long time. I kept hovering around 125. I think you just got to find out what works, and I think what I'm starting to learn is I can't do the same thing all the time, and I think that's why Guitar Search Saturday is sort of taken off, because it's completely different to just here's something new, here, go check it out. I think musos and guitar players are a little bit sick of that, to be honest, and a lot of guys that will watch pedal demos are more interested in the playing, I think, than the actual gear. And I'm not saying my playing, but if you go watch other guys that are, like even the Pete Thorns and that, people are there to watch him play. They don't really care too much about the stuff. I could be wrong, but I reckon that could be. Shane, do you have any righties that you flip upside down? I have one right-handed guitar, but I don't actually. It's strung right-handed, just in case someone comes over and they want to play. I'm not a big fan of flipping guitars. I've tried that, and I end up knocking the volume and tone controls with my arm really easily. They get in the way, especially with guitars like Strats and Tallys. It's not something that I really enjoy. Yeah, I'm not sure what this comment was in relation to, but someone says, if anything, people in China work harder. They work really hard over there. They might not get paid as much as what we do or you guys do, but they're hard workers. Anyone who suggests otherwise is crazy. Is it hard to get an upside down guitar to intonate correctly? The only problem you're going to really have with that's not the problem. It's more like how the nut and the strings sit on the nut. Sometimes you actually have to sort of take it out and reverse it so the strings sit in the right grooves. On some guitars you can get away with it, but most guitars you'll need to do that. Have I ever considered building a guitar? Not from scratch. No, not right now. I'd like to put together parts of things that I find and put that all together at some stage, but right now I don't really want to do that for a couple of reasons. I need more tools. I don't really have the space to be sanding stuff and doing all that kind of stuff, so yeah. certain guys on YouTube, when you watch their videos, you know they know their stuff too, so you can believe them. Yeah, well, that's it. You just touched on an interesting point. There's people who know their stuff and will give you their opinion on it, and then there's people who know their stuff and they're trying to sell you something. So don't get confused between that. You know, I think there's a lot of channels doing a disservice because they're... I'm not against people selling stuff either, like, go for it, but you know, you got to be cautious and work out what do these people have to gain from this as well. That would be my... Or at least have the... Take a minute and have a look at some independent and different channels and see if you can get a common ground with a particular review before you buy something. Or even better, go play it and make up your own mind. Lando, in the blues, got into your channel watching your dark lighting AC15 top boost versus normal channel video. Been a sub ever since. Yeah, that's an old video. Thanks, man. Your old headless videos. Yeah, that would have been 6-7 years ago now, I think. Far out. Oh, thanks for the support, man. The problem with pedals, and someone just mentioned, I think with YouTube demos, seeing how far you can push different sounds are a hunger. I'm finding the more pedals I do demos for, the more similar everything's starting to sound, because everyone makes the same mistake, and I'm guilty of this. You'll dial a pedal in so you're happy with it because you know what sound you get, and you don't necessarily go outside of, like, you won't see a heavy guitar player rolling out a sound that sounds like a blues tone. You won't see a blues guy really dialing in a great metal tone. There's guys that can play a lot of different styles, but the problem is, irrespective of what pedal I run, I try to get the same kind of EQ in my head from the pedal. I try to do a few certain things. While I show you what the controls do, I almost feel like it's much of a muchness now between a lot of stuff. You end up just hearing the same player, irrespective of how great the guitar player is. Even if they're versatile, you end up hearing the player more than the uniqueness of an effect. Anyway. Do guitar players do any decent reviews anymore? They at least have a con section. Well, yeah, it depends. Like, there's two different things. There's a demo. So I'll do a demo of something and say, this is... I'm going to remain impartial. You make up your mind, right? And then there's a review where I'll go, you know what? This is the problems I have with this. And this comes from these... And this, you know, it becomes apparent because of these reasons. And... like when I did the Mustang review and the, what was it called? The Katana review and all that. I did reviews on them, and I'm actually going to do a review on this. Oh, shit! I just spilled my bottle. Hang on, guys. Oh, damn. You know, you get the full live stream experience today. That's why I should use a coffee table. Oh, far out, man. Yeah, I'm actually going to do a full review on the guitar as opposed to just doing a demo. I'm going to tell you what I like about it, what I really like about it, and where I think it could improve. Because that's the stuff that salespeople don't tell you. Philip McKnight, is it awesome for honest reviews? Yeah, I agree. He's a good guy, man. He's a really nice dude. That's why I like the pedal show guys, not selling gear, only t-shirts. Yeah, and that's just to help support their YouTube channel. Like, I got t-shirts, I do those now as well. The Guitar Search Saturday ones, just because it all helps. And yeah, that's different. That's not, their agenda isn't to sell you a t-shirt. They're just doing good videos. So that's, yeah. When in doubt, blame the cat. Man, the cat is laying on his back. It's hilarious. Most people do demos, hardly anyone does reviews, though many people use the word review in their title. Yeah, you're right. A lot of people don't know the difference between one or the other. Yeah, look, it just depends. Like, sometimes, like, companies will contact me. This is the other thing. It works both ways. I don't want to, like, if a company wants me to do a video for them because they like my production and all that, I'm going to do a demo on the most part, because I think what I like as a musician isn't what everyone likes. Some people like humbuckers, some people like single coils, and no one's right. So remaining impartial on a demo is good. The only time it's worth, in my opinion, doing a really critical review of something is if something that's got a lot of hype doesn't meet expectations, or you feel like you're in a position where you can offer some advice on something that no one else has really done. I think that's a good thing as well. So, should I spend $1,500 on a complete pedal board or on guitars? I don't know what you mean by a complete pedal board, man, but most of the people who get hooked on pedals like myself swap things out all the time. So, look, I would invest in time in actually playing. That would be my suggestion. You don't need lots and lots of pedals to play great. It's just the way that it is. It just depends on the sound you're looking for as well, but you don't need to go spending thousands of dollars on pedals, because you just won't. They won't really help the musicality a whole lot. It'll just be something you've got to accompany it, maybe. Alright. But yeah, in terms of, is it better to get, what would I spend my money on? And Lando's right, get a good amp. A good amp will make an average guitar sound great. It will make average pedals sound great. I think most people think they need a $3,000 guitar going into a $50 amp and it's going to be great, but it isn't. You're always better off with a decent amp. That's my experience with that. Let me just check something here, guys. Alright, cool. Well, I've been streaming for ages, so I'm going to go clean up the floor. Man, I can't believe that. I just spilt like half the bottle of Coke on the... Anyway. Alright, well, thanks for hanging out, guys. And yeah, sorry for the randomness of this stream. I thought, why not mix it up? And I appreciate everyone hanging out. And thanks for those folks who are supporting Guitar Search Saturday as well. It's about to say Mustang Monday. Mustang Monday, but I think I'm done with Mustang Monday. The last video I'm going to put together is how I go about setting the amps up when I hear something. And that's it. Now I'll leave it up to you guys to basically dial in the sound that works for you. But I'll do a video on that probably this week as well. And that's the thing, like someone just said, tons of great Squier gear out there. Yeah, Squier, a Squier guitar into a great amp is going to sound awesome. It just does. Absolutely. Alright guys, well, thanks Terry for moderating the chat, man. I appreciate that. He banned only 35 people today, so he's taking it easy on you guys. But yeah, I'll do another one of, well, a normal live stream coming up at some point. But yeah, I just thought, why not? I'll jump on after Pixie. I was inspired to do a live stream after seeing his, so I thought, why not? Alright folks, well take care, and thanks again for being a part of this weird beat 'em up guitar stream.